All right, so here's a very quick video on comping. This is a blend I've learned from mentors that are investors, uh, Florida real estate license, and then a couple other sources. But in short, here's a sample property where this is a potential deal we're doing. I like to use Redfin. So two tabs. I'll go in on the first tab and then I'll hit looking for the zip code. So that kind of gives you the area that we're working in. Typically, I'll just right click, duplicate tab. I already have it pulled up. So then what we're doing is we're going to sold, preferably in the last 3 months or less. Anything older, it starts getting a little too irrelevant. You can go 6 months maybe, but especially in down markets. 4 bed, 2 bath. We want to try to get the same thing. Filters, we're looking at square foot, plus or minus 200 ideally, maybe 300. And then the comping is more of an art versus science because certain situations you're going to need to adjust appropriately so you can have enough comps. You at least want about three. You're built ideally within 15 years plus or minus. This is a 1 story, so we want a 1 story. It is a house. We're not trying to look at other things. Let's use the data. All right. So that narrowed it a decent amount. We're only down to 11. 3 to 6 is pretty nice. So next, we want to look at major roadways. Because as soon as you start jumping subdivisions, stuff like that, there's different zoning codes, different rules, laws, school districts, all that fun stuff. So on this map, so major roadways for sure, we're not trying to cross. Um, it's like a medium type roadway, but ideally you're in the same subdivision. And so we're gonna look at this here, comps. So as we look more closely, we see this is our area. So roughly in this area, we have like Sunbeam, just going back and forth to narrow. So right here, it's about 3 comps that are likely most appropriate for us. So the sold May, March, March, Bed Bath similar. This square foot's very similar. And so just taking a step backwards, what we did was we're trying to find a price that can give us an estimated value, just number wise, without seeing it in person, of course, but it gives us a baseline. So here we go. Depending on the sources, pretend that we couldn't even find this many. Then you can adjust for bed and bath, pool, stuff like that. Um, Florida, at least, a bed is maybe 5 to 10,000. Probably not much more than that. Like pretending if we only had a 5 bed or a 3 bed, you always adjust the comparable property. Or even if like maybe these had pools or something. A common thing is people usually overspend on a pool thinking it's going to add a ton of value, but maybe only adds 10K. But that's the rough baseline in this video. I'm not going into too much detail. But after that, we'd start looking at the inside, getting an idea of, okay, what's the inside look like? How much of a rehab does it need? We haven't seen this one yet in person, So, or the inside at least. We did have someone door knock this. It's a foreclosure. Um, but in here, we could see the inside's decent. The wood looks a little older, but overall it looks pretty good. Some of these, actually, these don't look like real pictures. So, yeah, be careful. These just look like fake pictures. Yeah. So we definitely need to see the inside.